The Padres couldn't even get a single run as they drop a 4-game series to the Brewers after dropping a 3-game series to the Mets. The Padres are falling flat lately. Is it time to panic? We'll talk about that on this episode of Padres Talking Padres. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Padres Talking Padres. My name is Jay, and with me on this journey of Talking Padres is my Padre, Jack. Jack, how are you doing today?
Lack of sleep. Just had another grandchild brought into the world.
Congratulations.
Yes, you're now an uncle again. But it's just, I'm tired. And then I watched the Padre game, and I'm tired.
Well, we made it stressful there at the very end. I love me some is that tells us to when it's a 2-strike count to still just look at a close pitch. You gotta fight those off.
Well, you had Cruz was called out on a 3-2 pitch. It was a ball, but it was close enough. It's too close to take, yes. And he had been calling that strike the whole game. So yes. You have to. And
he's been calling it a ball too. In fairness, he was all over the place.
He was not a good up. He wasn't consistent, but it was close enough that you have to swing at it.
Yeah.
I mean, at worst, you foul it off and you make the pitch count go up, and it just. And then of course Grisham. I love Grisham. Yeah. I root for him. I think he has the talent. Obviously, defensively, he makes plays out there that other players can't make.
Yeah.
But I am so tired of watching him take the third pitch down the middle of the plate for strike three, especially in this situation. You have to swing at that pitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was saying you're wearing that armor. Take one for the team when it was,
Well, he's leaned into him before too. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. I get he was probably thinking he was going off speed and he couldn't land, or I don't know how many pitches he had, but his off speed stuff was not in the strike zone.
Was not working. No. But still, I know you only have less than a second to decide.
Yeah.
But you got to swing at that pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't even okay. It was questionable. It was a strike.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, geez, swing at the pitch. But it is what it is. I mean, luckily we had a bad week, but also the rest of the National League West had a bad week.
Yes.
So it wasn't like everybody was tearing it up and we lost a lot of ground. The savior is just around the corner.
Yes. Hit another home run today. Okay, we'll save Tatis for a second here. Let's just talk about this Brewers series. But you are right. It's not necessarily that we're losing ground or anything, but it's a shame because it'd be nice to really pad some numbers here right now.
Right, it would, and you could have won 3 of the 4.
Yeah.
And
you should have won. Thursday you should have won.
Well, you came back. Grisham had that dramatic 8th inning home run.
Yeah.
And then in extra innings, Dixon makes the first out at third base.
Ugh.
You can't do that. You can't make the first or third out at third base. And it was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, it was hit behind him, but it was not hit hard. It was not hit, it was, I don't know.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I think this week has been frustrating to see Odor get a lot of playing time, Dixon getting playing time. It's like, what are we fielding here? Like we have a $250 million team and we got Dixon at first base. Like, what are we doing? And we're not fielding the best version. And I get we've been down Tatis forever. And I just feel like, why isn't Zokar playing? I don't know. It's this thing Bob Melvin does, especially early in the season. He wants everybody getting playing time.
Well, I get it. If they're going to be on the team, you want to give them reps. You want to. Nothing's worse than having a guy sit there for 3 weeks and then, go pinch hit.
Yeah.
And as far as Zokar, he's right now in this day and age where the game has changed this season. Speed is effective.
Yeah.
Having guys that can steal bases is effective.
Yes.
We don't do it. It's like Soto got that leadoff walk and he just stood there.
Yeah.
The whole time I'm going, all right, let's take a chance. You've been struggling. You obviously been struggling to score runs the whole game.
Yeah.
You're going against their closer. Take a chance.
Yeah.
Soto has some speed. If he gets a good jump, he could steal second base.
Yeah.
Then you move the runner over. We don't do a good job of manufacturing runs. If we're not hitting,
and the only run the Brewers had was a manufactured run. Right, it was with a balk to second, stolen third, and then a sac fly.
I believe so. Yeah. So it's the game has changed. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I never understood why stolen bases and small ball went away anyway.
Yeah.
Because I get it. The steroid era was like, okay, 3-run homer, boom, boom, boom.
Sure.
But you're going to go through stretches like the Padres are right now where they're not hitting, except for yesterday where they hit a ton. And you're like, okay, maybe they're snapping out of it. No, Cy Miley comes in and shuts them down.
He's pitched well against us before. Like with the Reds, he had a perfect game going to the 7th. Was that a year or two ago?
Yeah. I mean, you look at it was. You look at the positives. Darvish came in and had to go at least 7 innings because the bullpen had been taxed.
Yeah.
The whole series.
Yeah.
Because the starters weren't going very far. And he did his job. I mean, he gave up one stinking run, 4 hits.
Yeah. And he gets the L strikeout. That's just that's not fair.
It's not. And again, Soto, I love Soto, but he's got to do more than just walk. You're not going to get $500 million contract, a $500 million contract because you walk.
Yeah, no.
I mean, in that situation, he got him. He did his job.
There, yes, but there's just like I think even in that at bat, and I get what they're trying to guess what his pitch was going to be. Like all the hitters did that they were all doing that because Cruz missed on a fastball right down the middle. Soto didn't even swing at a fastball right down the middle. Like they were guessing, which
I get. And when someone has a great changeup, I mean, we've saw that with some guy named Trevor Hoffman for years. I mean, it's tough when a guy has a changeup like that. It's because it's almost unhittable. Mm-hmm. But again, you mentioned earlier, it was not in the strike zone.
Yeah,
it was all over the place. And like I said, they just let balls go down. I mean, Nola, I thought, okay. At first, I was like, "Why is Nola? Why isn't we pinch hitting for Nola?"
And then when he gets that liner down the left field, I was like, "Oh, I was wrong." Nope, still a foul ball.
I think if that would have been fair, we win because I think Kim scored.
Oh yeah, Kim was already running third. I think.
Yeah, because I think it was Don said, "Oh, that would have tied up the game." I go, "No, that would have won it."
Yeah,
because.
Or at least forced it away.
I mean, because there's no reason, it's 2 outs, no reason not to be running on that pitch.
Yeah.
On that hit. So, but then he walked. He had a good at bat.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, Grisham. I just, and when I got 3-1, I go, okay, all right, we're in the driver's seat.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep. He fouled off that one fastball and then just looked at another one. Clearly guessed wrong. That's a bummer. The day before was nice after losing 11-2 because that was brutal. For Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha, who had great starts on the road, at home did not do as well. Both of them didn't make it past. Did they either make it past the 5th inning?
I think they both were gone by the 4th.
Yeah.
It's gonna. I mean, you could have a little bit of dead arm. I mean, it's gonna happen. You don't expect those guys to be the Darvishes and the Blake Snells and the Musgroves. You don't. They're the back end guys, but
3, 4,
they've
5.
been the ones pitching great.
Yeah,
but the Brewers have a great lineup. They are all hitting right now, and we're not, and it showed. But today Darvish was he was a master.
He was money, and that's what's a shame that was wasted. And
that's why when people say we don't have a number 1 starter, I'm like, no, we do. Darvish is our number 1 starter.
For sure. Musgrove is on his way back. I think he did his last rehab start either tomorrow. I think is his last rehab start. And Blake Snell is first half Blake Snell, so he's probably our 6th best starter at the moment.
Even with Blake Snell, again, we've said it 100 times, he's still only good for 5 or 6 innings.
Oh,
even when he's on, because he throws so many pitches. Again, that's why he hasn't been extended. Again,
I don't.
Great clubhouse guy.
Half a season.
Yeah, people love him. I mean, but it's getting through that first half of the season. You're like going, dude, what is the deal?
Yeah.
You have great stuff, but bullpen looks like it's coming around a little bit. You got Wilson pitching, Garcia pitched pretty good. Tim Hill's been pitching better. I mean, obviously, Hader looked great today.
Yeah.
But they couldn't score. It's just, I mean, I'm not panicking, and I'm just, it's just a little frustrating today because, you get the bases loaded again, but we're station to station. And now I'm starting to think, okay, with the rule changes, do we not re-sign Soto? If he's not going to hit for power, do we find somebody, use that money to get a guy who can hit maybe 20 home runs, but can still use 60 or 70 bases and put you in?
Well, I think we'll have to see how the season plays out with Soto. And
I mean, I'm not. I know people will say I'm not giving up on him, but I'm just thinking.
Say he has another season of 240, 20 home runs and 400 on base percentage. You don't sign him to a $500 million contract for that.
And the problem is you're not going to be able to trade him for a lot either. You're not going to get that bounty that you gave up for him. So,
but well, then I think you just hold on to him at that point. But
there's no reason to get rid of him.
But then I say use that money for Ohtani, right? Like you spend that $500 million on Ohtani.
Yeah,
I just were talking to go for him anyway. But
yeah, I mean, but you guys like Grisham, Cronenworth, they have to start stealing more bases. They have to start attempt because it puts pressure on the pitcher. And again, other teams are doing it. We need to, but we don't have a lot of team. If you look at the team speed, we don't have a lot of team speed.
No, we don't. I mean, you're going to get Tatis back. That's where I agree. Like, why are we putting Odor in there? Why are we putting Dixon when you have a Zokar? Sure, he's not a power hitter, but at least he's speedy.
Yeah. Well, Zokar is like Willie Mays Hayes from Major League. If he ever hits the ball up in the air, pop up, he needs to stop and do 20 push-ups because he hit the ball as far as he could today to center field. Was still 15 feet short of the wall. He's not going to hit you a home run.
No.
Line drives, get on base, steal the base. And, he could be an effective player if he got on base because of his speed, because of the new rules. Last year, basically, he didn't – I think he got caught stealing more than he stole bases last year.
Sure.
And this year, I think he's 3 for 3, which is not a lot, but he hasn't had a lot of opportunities. Yeah. But we'll see what happens. I'm not giving up. Obviously, not giving up. It's just they're in a slump right now. It's just they had such a good series against the Braves. You get excited.
Yep.
Then they go to New York. It's like,
But let's talk about Fernando Tatis Jr., somebody who isn't slumping in AAA. An unreal stat line for these 8 games. I believe it's 7 home runs, nearly 2,000 OPS. Like he was like 1911 or something.
Last I saw
1,300.
Last I saw, he's hitting over 500.
Again, 34.
it's AAA, right? Yeah. But still, at least he's in the groove and bringing him. He's the guy. I would think he's going to lead off.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, he's going to lead off. He can steal bases. He can hit for power. And they need someone to kickstart this. I mean, Bogarts has been playing well.
Yes.
Manny's been,
Manny is like he's just not his swing isn't clicking.
No, he's not right. He's not seeing the ball well.
No.
And of course, Soto's not hitting for power, and that could affect when no one's hitting for power. That affects the whole lineup because obviously, all right, Soto's not going to hit a homer off me, right? Soto has 2 homers on the season?
He has 3. Clearly the timing thing has messed up Manny but it's weird is they were doing fine in spring training. I don't know if going to the World Baseball Classic where there was no timer and then coming back to the timer is kind of starts with timing and it makes sense for both of them where Manny's very laid back and somewhat lackadaisical. But his swing is also very just fluid and just like I would see that you have to kind of get your timing right to get that.
And it seems like he's having problems with the off-speed pitches where normally he just crushes those.
Yeah.
And he doesn't seem because they have the new what's it called the slider's no longer a slider. What do they call it? Sweeper. I'm like going. It's funny. I'm glad they talked about it today because I'm like going. Have they always used this term? I don't remember the term. I don't remember the term sweeper. And that's all of a sudden. And when they started joking about it, it goes. And with Tony Gwynn Jr., well, it used to be it's a slider, but they call it a sweeper now, so we got to call it a sweeper. So it's like, okay, I'm cool with it. I'm cool.
But yeah, I think so Tatis coming back is going to help, but there's Tatis doesn't fix Soto and Machado right now. And
But it does push the Odors and the Dixon got sent down, right?
Yeah,
Well, it does push the lower guys down a notch. They're not in there as much.
Well, I think Odor he's gotten 2 hits in 20 at bats. Like,
yeah, and he had a decent spring.
He did.
But he, it's like, do we need him when we have Kim and Cronenworth and?
To me, it's, and I get that Dahl and Engel are hurt. I guess Engel, he was. I was watching the Chihuahuas game today, and he was hitting, so I guess he's working his way back. But and it's a shame Dahl not playing as much either because he had a really good spring as well. So it's just we'll have to see how
did Campusano go on the IL?
So he jammed his thumb. They're hoping he doesn't have to go to the IL, but they brought up Sullivan, the other catcher.
Was that when he was catching? Because there was a pitch where he kind of went, and he went, and that's a shame because I don't hate Nola. I'm not a Nola basher.
I'm getting there,
but I don't hate any Padre. I always root for him.
Right. Yes.
But there's a difference. Campusano, when he hits the ball, he hits it hard. Nola never hits it hard except for today. It was foul.
Yeah.
Usually Nola's balls are soft liners or
yeah.
Again, he's okay to have on the team. But when you're not hitting, he can't be playing every day.
Yeah, it's I get why Preller made the trade, right? Because at the time he was hitting great for Seattle.
Mm-hmm. Turned out to be a stinker of a trade.
Oh, a stinker of a trade. What we lost for that? Come on. That was
Can you imagine having Ty France at first and Cronenworth at second?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it is what it is. Can't win them all, I guess.
And was it Munoz is in the bullpen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
any word on Suarez? Is Suarez going to have Tommy John surgery, or is he coming back?
No, I mean he's supposed to be. I don't know. So with Musgrove coming back, somebody has to go to the bullpen. Jack, who do you put in the bullpen?
I think it's got to be Martinez.
You think so? Not Weathers?
I forgot about Weathers.
That's what I'm saying. Either Weathers or Martinez. I agree with you. I think Martinez is better out of the bullpen. But the thing knock against Weathers is he hasn't gone as long into games. But I think he's pitched better than Martinez has.
Yeah, I think. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But Martinez was just money in the bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
At least he was last season, and he's struggled a bit as a starter. I mean, he only gave up 3 runs on 6 innings and 3 runs on Thursday. It's a good start for him.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know. Another problem with the Padres too is they give up a lot of stolen bases because Nola can't throw anyone out. But we have like Darvish is terrible at holding runners on. Blake Snell, who's left-handed, is terrible at holding runners on.
Yes.
The only one that's good at it is Weathers.
Yeah. Yep.
The rest are just terrible. But I guess we'll wait and see. I mean, we already have Hader, left-hander in the bullpen. Tim Hill's a left-hander in the bullpen. Pomerantz, is he coming back? I don't know. He
tried to get out of bed and strained his neck.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, Drew.
I mean, he was it's almost the point. It's like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Again, I don't hate you, but it's just like you just can't stay healthy. If he was healthy, because people, it's a terrible signing. I go, well, at the time it wasn't because
he was a great 8th inning guy. He was a
great 8th inning guy. He pitched great, but he has not been healthy since midway through that season. So this is the final year of his contract.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can come back and contribute. So, but I think if Pomerantz comes back, do you have 4 lefties in the bullpen?
That's a good question.
So I think you have to go with Nick and Suarez comes back. Then you have a luxury.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Garcia had a 1-2-3 inning yesterday. I was ready to throw a party. So we'll see what happens. I think again it depends on Pomerantz. If Pomerantz comes back, then I don't think Weathers goes to the bullpen. I think it's Nick Martinez. If Pomerantz can't come back, then you can put Weathers in the bullpen.
Yeah. I think between the two, I'd prefer Martinez in the bullpen, but I know there's a lot of different moving pieces, and
I mean, his Weathers' dad was a good reliever, was a better reliever than starter.
Yeah.
I think I've always thought that Weathers could be a better reliever than starter because he's good he can be pretty dominant for an inning or two.
Yeah.
But his last outing was pitched really well, so we shall see.
We
don't give up, people. Don't give up.
It's gonna be still April. Still April. And on that note, that'll do it for this episode of Padres Talking Padres. The Atlanta Braves coming to the West Coast for 3 games.
Why do we have all the hard teams?
Yeah. In a row.
I mean, you can see that everyone gets to play that. I'm not complaining.
And then we'll have Tatis coming back against the Diamondbacks in Arizona on Thursday.
Oh, you should get quite the greeting there.
Yes. There's a lot of Padre fans in Arizona, so maybe
there are a lot of Padre fans, and there's not a lot of Diamondback fans, so it should be
interesting.
There'll be that one guy behind home plate. Boo! Cheater.
We'll see when the Wednesday game lands, but maybe we'll do a show after the Atlanta series, and we'll get ourselves teed up for the return of El Nino. So thanks for hanging out with us. Hit subscribe and the bell. And until next time, hasta luego. Goodbye. Take care, everybody.
Arrivederci.